and welcome to Ed's Boat. Well. Sorry, been watching A Clockwork Orange. It's very, very catchy. Right, in the last episode we featured Death of a Canal Boat, and it raised a lot of questions that needed answering, and I'll try and cover that in another video. But first we're going to have a work catch up on where I am at the moment and where we last left it. And for that we need to go back in time a little bit. Firstly, I'm going to go and shut that barking dog up, but in the meantime, why don't you join me late last November? You are invited. Right, it's time to turn the water on for the sink in the bathroom and test for leaks. So I'll turn the water pump on, but in the meantime I've got help from my glamorous assistant.
I'm ready.
Okay, you go back inside and she's going to check for leaks when I turn the pump on. So here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. And it sounds good. The pump has kicked in, but it shut off straight away. So now it's a question of just looking for any drips. Okay, we've had the water going for about, I don't know, half an hour now. We've got no drips, so we'll try for a water test into the sink and test the waste side of it. So if my glamorous assistant is ready, turn the water on. And that seems pretty good. Okay, now turn it to the hot tap. Turn that on. Okay, test, turn it on, leave it on, and put your hand under it and tell me whether that's getting hot.
Yeah.
How hot? Well, you can see the steam coming off it, yeah. That's working really well. Okay, turn that off. That's brilliant. Right, now, if you reach inside and press the plug, it will click down, and that'll let the waste away. And now we'll check for leaks. Have we got any leaks? I can hear it running out the side of the boat, okay? How's that doing? So that's run away nicely. I'll just have a quick feel round for any leaks. And hands dry, really good. Okay, so that seems to be a success. So the only other test to do is the gulper pump, which I'm missing one clip for that at the moment, so I won't be testing that just yet. But that seems to have worked really well. Just need to tidy that up a bit. And we're done, and thank you to my glamorous assistant.
Bye.
Well, that's how things are in the shower room at the moment. Still lots of work to cover in there, but we'll do that another day. However, I've had a delivery and I'm quite excited about this. Are you excited? No, just me. Anyway, I've had some wood, not just any old wood. This is oak, and this is all the oak edging and strip that's going to help make the inside of the boat just look that bit more finished and nicer, you know. So I bought a load of this. This is 18mm quadrant. Obviously bought it in huge, great long lengths. And this, if you look at the edge of it, that bit there and that bit there make 90 degrees. And you put that into your corner pieces and it finishes off all the joins in the wood. I've been buying this D section. It's called D section oak strip, again in long lengths. And this will cover the joins between the sections of plywood that I've got down the boat. And again, this will all be varnished up, same as the rest of it. And it will be, again, another nice finishing strip. And also I've bought some of this. This is 90 degree sort of wood edging. It's a bit like angle iron, but in wood. And it is very, very expensive. Probably because there's a lot of waste when they make this. But yeah, when you add up the cost of it across the length of the boat, there's a lot of money here. Again, in huge, great long lengths, and this will make all the edges for fitting against the edges of doors and along the gunnels and stuff like that, and it will make it all look nice and finished. So what's involved in doing that? Well, you measure up to fit it in, but then you've got to varnish it. I'll come down onto the back of the boat to show you what's involved in the varnishing process. Right, now the varnish I'm using is the International Original. It is a gloss varnish, but I'm not looking for the high glassy gloss finish. I just want to seal the wood, give it more of an oiled look than anything else. Just seal the wood up and give it a slightly stained effect, so it goes more of a golden colour rather than just the raw oak colour. And I think that will look nice. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a rag, just a small rag. The reason for that is I watched some videos by a guy who restores steam engines called Keith Appleton. And he varnishes all the base plates for these steam engines with a rag, and I quite like the way it turns out. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm quite impressed with the way it works as well. So all I do is dip my rag into the varnish and then just wipe it down the wood. and the rag actually seals the varnish into the wood, pushes it right in, and as the rag gets dipped in more and more, it holds more varnish. And what happens is you can work the varnish up and down the wood, and the rag sort of soaks it up a bit as well, and it means you don't put too much on, so you don't get these big blobs and drips that you might get with a brush. You can force it in, you know, and if you take your time with it to sort of work it in, it goes nicely into the wood, it doesn't drip, and it gives a nice finish. So you do that, work it in. I'm using a man-made fibre actually, because you need a lint-free cloth, and this like man-made fibre is pretty good. It doesn't leave any sort of bits of fluff on, and I'm getting on really well with it. So you do that and then you leave it to dry. Unfortunately, you're looking at about 24 hours for it to go hard. Once your varnish has dried, it goes from this colour, quite a dully sort of grey colour, to this more golden looking colour. There's the difference between the two. I don't know whether the camera can pick that up very well. It's a very subtle difference really. It just gives it like a golden tinge, but it looks nice. Then this bit has already been varnished, so let's put it on. Okay, this piece of edging is going to go just here. Now the way I'm fixing it on in this particular case is I'm drilling a pilot hole, and then I've put a tack into it, and I'm going to hammer it on and just sort of nail it into place. Now that will show some nail heads, and the way I get around that is I will punch that deeper with a hammer and punch, and then later on I'll mix up some sawdust and glue, fill it over, sand back, and just a light wipe of varnish over the top, and that should disguise it. You shouldn't be able to see it. Now in this particular case I'm using tacks. In other places I'm bonding it on with Sikaflex, because it needs to be sealed down the back because it's in the shower room, or there's a chance that water's going to get near it. And in some places I am putting screws in, and that is because I need to train the wood to make a shape, so I'm forcing it in with screws. Again, to cover up the screw holes and all this sort of thing, I'm mixing up some sawdust and glue to fill it, and I'll cover that another time. But in the meantime, let's get this one on. So that's the first tack on. I need to drill more pilot holes all the way down and all the way down this way and get it nice and secure. And that's the last bit on, and that is another piece of edging done. Well, the difference that all this edging makes is quite dramatic really, because I've painted the inside white, and I'll cover all that painting later on because we've got loads more of that to do. But just putting that edging around the outside, it really finishes it off, makes it just look so much more homely. But I've had to stop doing that for the time being because something a little bit more pressing has come to light. One of the other jobs I need to do is sweep my chimney. I think it needs doing. How do I know that? Well, it's not drawing as well as it was. When I open the door, lots of smoke comes out, more than would normally happen. So I think it needs doing. I haven't swept it since I put it in. So I have bought a giant bog brush. Don't worry, I'm not going to break into Ken Dodd impressions, but this is a brush designed to go down the flue, clean out all the soot build-up and all the rubbish that might accumulate in there, and clean it all up, and hopefully it'll work fine. Now, we've had some really good weather the last couple of days, and today it's been raining, so this is the day most likely that you would slip off the roof because it's wet and fall in the canal, and that's the day I've picked to sweep the chimney. Right, let's lift the top off and see what's in there. Very, very dirty. I'll start sweeping that out now. That was very, very dirty.
After sweeping the chimney, it suddenly occurred to me that all the bits I swept out had to land somewhere, and that's down the back of the fire. So I had to take the flue out and scrape it all out, ready to vacuum. Then it was just a question of clean up all the mess that had fallen out using my larger vacuum, and there was quite a lot of build up down the back of the fire. But that flue that I took out, it's going to have to be cut back a bit and refitted because it's starting really to collapse. So we need to look at replacing that in the near future. Then it's just a question of putting the bindings back on, and I'm using some welding wire just to retain it. But those bindings are just a heat shield. They don't actually seal the flue. It's just to protect the woodwork. Then refit the chimney top and a quick clean up with a brush and a bucket of water. Then it's time to light the fire. I use a match that I've made just so I don't have to put the lighter in the flames. Close the door, and then before the fire gets hot, I have a quick sniff round the top just to check for leaks, and everything's fine.
That's a couple more jobs out of the way anyway, and the fire is just working so much better. It's drawing better, it's giving off more heat, and hardly any smoke when I open the doors now, so that's much better. The flue, well, that's looking a little bit used now, and I need to get rid of that, so that's coming in the near future. We'll replace that and build a hearth. But very, very pleased with the way the interior is going. The edging is making a massive difference to the way the boat looks. Still loads to do. You can still see there's painting and stuff to be done over there. But I plan to get through that in the very near future. Right, in the next episode, well, I'm going to be making something a little bit different. So if you'd like to see what that is, why not subscribe and ring that bell for notifications? It is free. But in the meantime, I'm going to have my coffee and say take care, and I'll see you soon.